Moreira Chonguiça, how are you? Welcome to Voice of America.
Muito obrigado. I'm happy to be here and thanks for inviting me.
I understand a big congratulations is in order. Your recent award from the French government.
Oui.
What is it exactly and how does that affect you? How do you feel about it?
Order of Merit for Arts and Letters, né?
The Knight.
The Knight.
Knight of Arts. Knight, what is the official? I have written
Je suis chevalier.
It's Chevalier. Knights of the Order of Arts and Letters.
Yeah. What it means for me.
Yeah.
It means a lot, not just for me, because at a certain stage in my life, coming from Mozambique, from Maputo, playing the saxophone, which is it's not a Mozambican or an African instrument. And by the way, this is a French saxophone, Selmer, you know, every Selmer.
I see.
You know, and being recognized not just by a brand, but by a government, you know, of a non-speaking Portuguese country.
Right.
Having this recognition from the government of France for the contribution of the work we are doing, I feel very humble and honored. It's something to go back home in those dark days, because there's good and there's bad days, and look at your family and say, hey, not everything's bad, you know what I'm saying?
You're a jazz musician. You've got your saxophone with you, the Selmer.
This is Selmer. I'm a brand ambassador for Selmer in Paris. Yeah, this is French. This is proper.
Okay. You've been playing now for many years.
Yeah.
What does your saxophone sound like? Can you play us a riff or a sound that if people know the saxophone as an instrument and they listen to a lot of sax music, they'll go, aha, that's Moreira.
Oh my God, that's a good one. Okay. Okay, good. This is my test. Okay.
Wow, I like that. Take us back to the first time you held a saxophone.
The first time I held a saxophone is number one, thanks to a gentleman called Professor Orlando. My late father, my family, they've put me in what we have in Mozambique, the National School of Music in Mozambique by the age of 7. Okay? Honestly, I didn't like music. I didn't want to be there.
Really?
Yeah.
And your parents wanted you. Normally, it's the other way around. The kid wants music,
Yeah.
and the parents say no.
But they were keeping me out of trouble. So at the music school, which I ran away at the age of 9 because I hated music so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Then I went back by the age of 13 on my own, and I started playing the clarinet. And the teacher was Professor Orlando. He introduced me to saxophone after an uncle of mine brought me a VHS tape because I was playing clarinet, and I really thought it was boring, which is a hard instrument.
Yeah.
He brought me a tape of one of Miles Davis' shows in Paris where the famous Kenny Garrett takes like a 10, 15-minute solo on alto. I look at my clarinet and I look at the alto. I said, that's the thing I want.
Now, you just mentioned the Maputo and where you grew up. Do you have can you play a melody from that region, a local melody on the sax?
That's a good question. There is this saxophone player from Mozambique that I've never met, I've never seen. It's like, his name is Billy Cooker, right? Okay. Like, I grew up listening to his melodies, you know, and there's this song that we look for the title. No one knew what the title is, but the song, so let me play this song, and it's based on a rhythm from the south of Mozambique called Marabenta, very popular.
Marabenta.
You can actually feel that.
Yes, I love it. I wish I could hear the whole ensemble with percussion.
With the band,
and,
percussion, drums, and a bit of
but
bass.
that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's very pretty.
This song was written by Billy Cooker. Honestly speaking, I never met him.
You have 8 albums
Yeah, about
now,
it.
and
yeah.
several of them were award-winning.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
was reading your bio. You have, since 2008, is that when you started your career about?
Solo, 2005.
2005.
2005.
And every year you're getting some kind of award. You had the one called Eminem that was out in 2017, M meaning Moreira, and the other M, Manu Debango. That was just a few years before he passed.
Yeah, very sad.
How was that experience recording with him?
Listen, Manu Debango is probably the most sampled African artist in the world. It's not the most. He is with the song Soul Makossa,
I
right?
know. Even today, even today,
everybody
Africans don't even know.
No,
and Americans don't know. I always say, you know, that Michael Jackson, that was his song. And
everybody sampled.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see the power of music is like, you do it subconsciously without knowing sometimes. You just heard that, mama sa, mama kosa, and you don't even know who did that, you know, but it sounds great, which is the power of music. Yeah. So I grew up listening to Manu Debango because of my parents when I really wanted to play music. But most important is, I met Manu Debango in the year 2000, the millennium, 1999 to 2000, right? And I was living in Cape Town. I lived in Cape Town. I went to school there for 19 years at Robben Island. So Mandela at the time hosted a concert, the Millennium Concert, right? Big stars with all the top, Manu, Yoso, Miriam Makeba. So I was part of the big band at the back. So I heard him playing backstage. I went, I knocked the door, we became friends. I mean, friends. He gave me his phone number. He said he doesn't use cell phones. His home number. He says, whenever you come to Paris, please give me a call. And once I went to Paris, I went for Midem in Cannes for a music conference. And I gave him a call. He says, come to Paris. I want to host you on my Africa Number 4, was his radio show. You know, I said, really? I went there. Cutting a long story short, he's performing on my album. And then I'm telling Leslie, my manager, how much is he gonna charge? You know what I'm saying? And it's too late, man. He already performed. He says, no, man, relax, man. It's a gift for you. He performed on my album, Citizen of the World. Actually, this album won Best Contemporary Jazz Album in Africa. Cutting a long story, 27.
Which one? Which album?
It's called
Eminem.
Citizen of the World.
Oh, Citizen of the World.
2008.
Oh, okay.
That's the first time Manu Debango performed in one of my albums. But then I look and said, listen, if I am what I am, it's because somebody started. You Masikelas of this world, Winston Mankunku, I spoke about Billy Cooker, Manu Debango. This gentleman is still alive, full of energy. I created a festival in Mozambique called the More Jazz Series. More Jazz Series, and then transitioned to become the Maputo International Jazz Festival. And for me, I just don't book artists. I bring artists with purpose, essence, a proximity to my values. Let's put it this way. Even if I have $1 million, I'm not going to bring you because you're famous. Probably I'll die poor because of that. Because the main objective of the More Jazz is education. Do you understand? Because going back to those taboos about what's to being a musician, I need to bring people that somehow will have to communicate with the younger people through master classes, through workshops. Reason why today we created the Moreira Conguiça Foundation. And Manu Debango was supposed to sit on the board of the Moreira Conguiça Foundation. It came first for the festival. He came once, then he came twice for the festival. Then he became my godfather. And I said, sorry, I have proximity now to talk to you. let's do an album. He says, Moreira, are you crazy? I said, we just did a song. I said, no, let's do an album from A to Z. Yeah? Because most of people recorded songs with him. I wanted to do an album. Listen, it took years until that happens because of his agenda. Claire DeBoer, manager, calls me January, I don't remember, 205 or something, say, Mo, how are you? Do you have time in February? Manu Debango has 2 to 3 weeks to record. I said, are you crazy? The financial year starts in April. This is January. February is in 3 weeks. He says, Moreira, Manu Debango is inspired, is ready for you. I said, I'm broke. I'm going to come there. She said, Moreira, Manu Debango has time. Heather, by the time I woke up, I was in Paris at Ferber Studios, recording, stayed 3 weeks. Don't ask me how we paid. You know what I mean? We were happy.
Yeah.
You know, he was so involved. She knew him so well that she says, listen, he is inspired. He's been thinking about you. Do you understand? And we've done Eminem, which actually we end up releasing 2 years after. We didn't release it immediately. You know what I mean? And we launched Eminem in Germany, in Würzburg, for the African Festival.
Oh, yeah, you can see some of that
Yes,
concert
yes.
on YouTube.
It's amazing that we just launched Eminem in festivals. Then we launched Eminem in Maputo for the More Jazz Festival. Then we launched in Cape Town for the Cape Town International Jazz Festival. Then this COVID story came. So just to say that I'm honored, blessed, but very humbled to say thank you for everyone that made it possible to do an album from A to Z with Manu Debango, because that's a very important part of my story.
Thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you talking and playing here on the Voice of America, right here with me.
Hela, thank you so much. You know a lot about our music. I really thank you for that. Thank you.